Today, Huntsville City Schools Superintendent Christy Finley shared that some people's personal information may have been accessed in the cyber attack at the end of November. The district says some of the files accessed during the ransomware attack included state student ID numbers, email addresses of parents, and the social security numbers of some employees and students.
It is important to know that during this investigation, we have not uncovered any evidence that the district's information was stolen or leaked. While this is good news, I have always believed that it is our role as public servants to err on the side of caution, and that's what I intend on doing.
The district and law enforcement plan to investigate into the new year. The district is providing resources to people whose information may have been accessed. To watch Superintendent Finley's full message and to learn if you are possibly impacted, just go to rocketcitynow.com.